Let's look in detail at Miss Gioconda. Gioconda is not her family name, but rather her birthplace. So this is a 500-year-old painting. And before we look at her face, I like this small head. I don't know how to call this in English. Like she's covering her head with something, a very, very fine cloth. And you see, I've read that Da Vinci was a perfectionist, and he seemingly put several layers on this paint, but also took many years to actually never finish it. You also notice there is a crack here, so there has been some damage on the paint at some point. This painting has been stolen and also had restorations which were more or less done correctly throughout the years. There have been restoration amount about 1800, which weren't done so nicely. And yeah, this is, I guess, this is what makes the painting worth near $1 billion, the most valuable painting in the history. This we call this mysterious smile. It's not clear what's the meaning of it, but perhaps just the skill to capture such smile, to put it on paint, was something that made this painter remarkable. Also, perhaps look at the eyes. The eyes also have this kind of feeling to them. They almost smile, and also have this kind of secret. You know, women can look in many ways with their eyes, and can hide many things too. You notice the cracks on the canvas, but it's not that bad. I'm not sure if this was restored or it was just left like this originally. It's kind of a thin paint. It's not like a thick layer of paint on it, although there have been lacquer layers. And again, it seems there are several layers of paint. So possibly Leonardo did paint a face, then he wasn't really satisfied with how it looked or the results, and then he paint again over that face another face, and maybe actually he did repeat that a couple of times. And if we could go deep into the layers, we may actually discover the same person, but with different expression, and possibly not the same smile or no smile at all underneath this paint. Again, look at this small head cover, fine head cover, which is very nicely done, translucent. He was perfectionist, so he took all the time needed for this particular paint of his. And I'll show you at the end. Look at these details here on the robe. Very interesting. I mean, we are looking at something. It's not a big paint. I believe it's maybe a couple of thousands of centimeters wide and high. So it's not that big. The detail, though, becomes quite impressive if you look. Look at the shadows of each of these design. I don't know how to call this, but look at all those shadows in tiny spaces. For sure, there's a lot of work. You can see the canvas line here, perhaps. Now this sits at in France, République Française, the Louvre, and has been sat at the Louvre for the past 200 or 300 years. I believe it's 200 years, and it's been owned since at least 300 years by France. So it's a public painting owned by the state. Actually, it's the Republic of France. And it's, when I say, notice the hands are not really finished. We can perhaps guess the nails, but the painting hasn't been finished really into detail, especially the level, and also here in the backgrounds. The backgrounds are not very detailed, and you don't really have a building behind them. Oh yes, you have a bridge right there. Interesting. Anyhow, so you can see a spot here. These days, and for a couple of decades, the paint has been mounted behind bulletproof glass. Bulletproof, I guess, yes. Shattering resistant glass to some impacts. And for various reasons, the painting has been got thrown quite a few things to it throughout the time, especially modern times. So I was reading on Google that various persons had thrown stone, a cup of tea. Not sure if the tea was in the cup or not. And then various other things, and apparently it seems the last thing that had been thrown to it, for various reasons, again, maybe political reasons, maybe jealousy reasons, it's a piece of cake. Just like that, a piece of cake. Again, because of the glass, it didn't cause any damage. Again, you notice there's a small chip here. When we say that it's the most valuable paint existing, and also obviously through the history, it's because it hasn't been sold. Obviously, it belongs to the French state, but it's because it's insured for something close to 1 billion. I think it's $800 million, but that's, if my memory is good, has been insured in 2021. So I guess with inflation, especially this day, we're in 2022 with inflation, I guess it went well past 1 billion now, if we just update that amount of money. So that's the insurance amount. That's why it says to be valued to 1 billion. I don't think it's a painting that has something that special to it, but that's really my opinion. I don't think it's something really special. I will show in another videos the eyes in a painting by Rembrandt, and you will see the difference is very, very striking. How much the Rembrandt could paint the pupil to be so realistic. Now there is obviously, because of the time, some deterioration here. The lacquer that has been covered had darkened and so on, so we do lose detail, but I don't think Leonardo was that amazing painter. Still, he clearly has quite, look at the shades and look at the transition between the shades on some areas and other areas that don't have that shade. It's so smooth. It makes so much sense. I mean, this is basically a reproduction of the three-dimensional shape of human figure just by the shades like this. It's crazy. It's crazy the talent he got. But perhaps it's not to say that he was the best painter ever to paint. Actually, still, obviously, he got something here. Now, I don't know if it's just in the smile, it's also in the quality of the paint. I do notice that she doesn't appear to have much eyebrows though. So either same for eyelashes perhaps, for some reason. Maybe that's something belonging to the culture back in the days. Anyhow, so yeah, this is the most famous paint in the world. I don't agree with that. I don't agree that if you take a part of the population and they ask you which paint we should go visit, I don't think you should answer right away Mona Lisa. I don't. That's just a crowd thing, I think. if you want kind of tourist attraction. But still, obviously, there are many people who want to see this in person, and they don't actually get that close to her, close to the paint. I'll show in a moment a picture at the Louvre, and I wanted to add this at the end of the video because I let you get your own idea. You can tell the people, this photo was taken a little bit from behind the people, but you can tell they are not that close. I mean, you will definitely see more on this image on your screen that you will see in real life. But also you can tell that they are really at a distance from the actual painting. It is not that bright. There's not a lot of light on it. But I wanted to finish this video, and it looks by the color of the hands, there is a lot of variety of people from all around the world, I guess, not necessarily Parisians. But is there any one of them that doesn't have a cell phone? that's so. Anyhow, I'll let you judge this if you want to judge it. But what exactly do you get in this picture that you don't see on your screen at home? That's another story. All right, thanks for watching.